If you're just getting started in real estate this year, there's an 87% chance that you're going to fail. But if you follow these 6 simple steps, I'm going to make sure that by the end of this video, you are not one of the statistics. Especially with the shifting market we're now dealing with, things are only going to get more difficult, and I want to make sure that you're a success story and you don't fall victim to the statistics of, again, the majority of agents failing within their first year. So without further ado, let's dive into the 6 things that you need to be doing this year in order to make sure that you thrive as a brand new real estate agent. What's up, guys? My name is Mike Sherrard. If you don't know who I am, I train thousands of agents every year to skyrocket their business the modern way, leveraging social media, and I also am at eXp Realty. So if you want to know about how to partner with me and get my one-on-one support to help you crush it like the majority of the new agents that have joined us have, doing multiple 6 figures, then feel free to check out the link in the description below. So let's start diving into what you need to do as a new agent to thrive in this market, because most new agents do not properly understand what they need to do in order to become successful. They think that, listings are just going to be falling out of the sky, and that is not the case. And I want to make sure that you thrive as an agent, and I've talked to thousands of new agents and I've helped many of them become success stories. So let's start diving into these 6 things. Now, the first thing I want to dive into is a bit more generic, and then we're going to get into the tactical. But the first thing I want to explain is that the market is shifting. The market is different, and it is not what it has been for the last 2 years. However, it is the best time to become an agent if you're driven and take massive amounts of market share. Let me explain. The last 2 years have been a joke. It's been a 2-year gravy train, listings selling for like $200,000 over list price in 14 freaking seconds. Didn't have to market the property, didn't have to communicate properly with your clients, and things were just flying off the shelves. Well, the market is shifting, and it's shifting to a normal market, so it's not like catastrophically blowing up, but it's pulling back a bit, which means that you actually have to do something now. So I want to make sure that you understand that what happens when the market starts to retract and pull back and we start to see a shift is that all the complacent, lazy agents that got into the industry to sell a few homes and make 30 to 60 grand are not going to be renewing their license. They're gone, right? Not saying it's going to get like 0809, but in 0809, 60% of licensed agents did not renew the real estate license, which means where did the clients from the 60% go? To the 40%. So what I want to make sure is that you become one of the 40% by following the next 5 steps, because this is the greatest time to take market share. When I got started as a new agent, I was only 24 years old in a new city that didn't know anybody, and I had no money, but only 27% of listings were selling. The market was garbage. And I crushed it because everybody else gets lazy, complacent. They don't want to do anything. They get scared, fearful, and they start to worry about the market. Whereas if you follow the steps I'm going to explain now, you will take market share and become a top producer very, very quickly. Now, the first thing that you need to do, which is step number 2, is create a proper business plan. And then we're going to start going into the ninja strategies. But this is foundational to know what are you actually going to be doing, because here is the easiest way to separate the gap from all of the lazy agents that are going to be in your market, that are going to be fearful and scared of everything that's happening, all the headlines and such, is to actually be productive, not just busy. All too many agents get so caught up in working 10, 12, 14 hours a day, but they get nothing done. Their business doesn't move ever. And that's why they're at the same place now as they will be in 12 months, and the same place they were 12 months ago. So you need to have a plan. By failing to plan, you're planning to fail. And let me explain what you need to do. Now, if you drop a comment below and just comment business plan or something like that, then what I'll do is I'll give you my video that actually shows you how to fully break out a business plan and reverse engineer that into a daily goal, because that's what you need to do. You not only need to create your annual goal. Let's say you want to do 24 deals in the next year. Well, a lot of people say that's just 2 deals a month. Well, the question you have to ask is, are you going to get 2 deals this month? And the answer is usually no. So it's condensed. So what we need to do is create short-term, mid-term, long-term, lifetime, afterlife goals. We'll focus on the short-term, mid-term, and daily goals. So let me explain what you need to go through. Is you need to go through the process, number 1, of identifying your annual goals. Now, after we identify our annual goals, you need to then reverse engineer that into quarterly goals, or what I refer to as short-term goals. And the reason being is because 1 year is way too far out to actually project if you're going to stay on track. So much happens, market changes, interest rates change, climate changes sometimes, hurricanes, depending on where you live, and ultimately those are out of your control. So by having quarterly goals, we're operating on what we refer to as a 12-week year, you're going to have much more control over the goals that you're doing. Now, after that, we need to reverse engineer that into weekly and daily activities. So what you'll see is a lot of agents like me operate on a power list. I keep it in front of me every single day, which is the 5 income producing activities that will move the needle of your business every single day. So as a new agent, you want to make sure that you've got 3 hours of prospecting every single day in your power list. You want to make sure that you've got studying the market data every single day in your power list, creating content or posting on every platform every single day. And you want to make sure that you're doing the foundational elements that will bring you clients at scale and start to help you build momentum, because all too many people focus on doing the things they want to do, not the things they know they need to do. And what this does is it keeps them busy, but they're not moving the needle of their business. Now, the third thing that you need to do is incredibly important, which sounds obvious, but it's not, and I will explain. Build a proper foundation. Take the time to build a proper foundation. So many agents get into the industry and they're just so fired up to get out there to crush it, and they're doing a million different things and they don't even build a foundation. What I mean by that is that your CRM is the heartbeat of your business. Okay, so when you look at this, you could talk to 100% of top producers out there. Every single one of them relies on their CRM for repeat, referral, and nurturing their sphere. I've now talked to thousands of agents that are new agents. Every single one of them that is not successful at the end of the first year, guess what they didn't do? Use their CRM. So we want to make sure that we build a foundation, because what you'll see is that as you start to get your first, second, third, fourth, fifth deals, if you properly nurture your database, repeat and referral clients will start to come with you. Initially referrals, then repeat long term. But the most important part is understanding that if you get referrals in your first year, it's going to be the most profitable deals that you're going to get. Because if you rely constantly on cold lead generation like most agents do, all they're focused on is more leads, more leads, more leads. Well, what happens is that takes more effort. Those leads usually take longer to convert, and it takes more time because, again, there's no established relationship. Not to mention the cost of that, from both an investment in terms of ad spend, but also the time it takes in order to establish that relationship, get them to like, know, and trust you. Whereas referrals, it's already done from day one. So it's the most profitable deals because they already know what they want to work with you, because John Smith over here said that you're the best person to work with. So we want to make sure that we set up a proper foundation, which goes into the second aspect of this, which is understanding that your personal brand is what matters. Anybody that actually understands the real estate industry will properly tell you that the brokerage brand means absolutely nothing. Right? This is why I could ask 1,000 agents which brokerage Ryan Serhant was with before he started Serhant, and 990 couldn't tell you. You probably don't know the answer, but everybody knows who Ryan Serhant is. Your brokerage brand does not matter. Your personal brand is everything. So you need to identify as a new agent what makes you different. What is your unique value proposition? What do you want to be recognized for? Because what this does is it allows you to go into listing presentations or buyer's presentations, and when somebody says, hey, why you? You could say, boom, exactly why you. For me as a new agent, it was my expertise with marketing and video content, drone footage, exposure on properties by leveraging Facebook ads and video content. And that worked really well because when the market shifted, a lot of people wanted more exposure, amplified results on their property, and somebody that was going to go above and beyond. So you need to identify what you're going to do above and beyond the rest of the agents, because every agent is going to say they go above and beyond, they love helping people, they care so much. But how can you actually show that, and what can you do to prove it? The next aspect of building this proper foundation is understanding that lead generation in the beginning is the number one thing you need to care about. That is it. Everybody gets so caught up in all of these little nitty-gritty things as a new agent, but if you have no clients, it doesn't even matter. So let's get some clients. So that is your first and foremost priority. And there's 4 different ways that you can get clients, which is either marketing, which is free organic content, like leveraging YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram Reels, things like that. advertising, which is paid ads, which is Google ads, YouTube ads, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram ads, things like that. Then you've got prospecting, cold calling, door knocking, and then you've got networking. So those are the 4 pillar ways that you can generate clients, and those need to be baked into your daily power list. Every single freaking day it needs to be in your power list. Because again, so many agents fail in their first year because they get so caught up in ignoring the things they know they need to do because they suck. But you need to do the things that suck as quickly as possible so that you can earn the right to do the fun things for as long as possible, right? For me, I door knocked 3 hours a day, 7 days a week in rain, snow, hail, everything, and -10 for the first 6 months of getting my license. Built the foundation. I've never had to prospect a single day since, and I never will. So you need to earn your stripes. You need to put that grind work in, but focusing on lead generation is the number one priority of establishing that foundation once you have your CRM in place to be able to send those leads directly to somewhere where you can convert and nurture them. Now, the final aspect of building a proper foundation is focusing on systems, processes, and time management or templates. Because one of the things that you'll see as you start building momentum as a new agent, closing your first couple of deals, is that a lot of the tasks are repetitive. You're going to do the same thing over and over and over. So instead of having to do it from scratch over and over and over, if you just create templates or you create processes or systems or automations, it's going to allow you to scale, because there's a lot of inefficiencies that agents struggle with. And if you understand that time is money, if you save time and reinvest that time back into income producing activities like marketing, advertising, prospecting, and networking, then your income will go up and you will close more deals. But so many agents, again, love to be busy and they like to do these tasks over and over and over again. Instead of saying, hey, I did this on the last deal, why don't I just have a canned email? Why don't I just have a templated process? Why don't I just set up an automation with Zapier so that way, the next time I have to do it, it takes seconds instead of minutes or hours. Now, the fourth thing is, what should you be focusing on in terms of platforms? Because social media is incredibly important as we go into a shifting market, because it's all about building brand awareness, taking market share in people's minds so that you become and remain top of mind. So that way, whether they work with you now, even if they don't, when the market comes back, if you're the one that's top of mind, they are going to work with you. And that's what we want. So let's talk about the platforms that you should be focusing on, because a lot has changed. And to be honest, platforms like Facebook right now, it just ain't it. Facebook has now removed the special ad category. They're constantly making it impossible for us to run high converting ads. And again, I've spent over $1 million in the last 12 months of my own money on Facebook ads. So I have the data. I know what's happening. Cost per lead is going up, conversion's going down, quality is going down. So let's talk about what you need to be focusing on if you want to thrive as a new agent coming into this next year. The first thing is YouTube for client attraction. Now, I preach YouTube, and a lot of people think it's just because I'm on YouTube, but that couldn't be further from the case. I do it because it works. If you look at the many agents in my organization that have been crushing it with YouTube, you've got Suman that did 87 deals in his first year. John Pena ended up doing 75 deals in his first year. Jenny Selly did 100K from one video. You've got Andrew that did multiple 6 figures in his first year. All of these agents are leveraging video. And if you look at the many agents that have partnered with me at the Wolfpack at EXP, I sit down with them and show them exactly which videos to put out based on their market, their target demographic, their style of business, their approach to where they're looking to go in those next short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. And you need to focus on this because it's SEO driven, it's data driven, it's scalable, it's evergreen. So essentially, if you put out a properly optimized YouTube video, it is door knocking or cold calling for you 24/7, 365 for free. So this is what will start to create leverage of your lead generation, so that if you look at the traditional agent, their business is growing the 3 hours a day that they're prospecting at best. But if you start to leverage things like YouTube, you can begin pairing that with prospecting so that you start to get the immediate clients from prospecting, and then you start to get clients coming to you at scale with the client magnet of your YouTube videos. Now, the caveat to that is you have to understand how to optimize your YouTube videos. Otherwise, your video will die. So if you want to know that, drop a comment. I'll send you my free training on how to properly optimize your YouTube videos to rank #1. But you also have to understand the relationship between social media and prospecting. All too many agents get into real estate and just want to do social media from day one. You can do it. There's been agents that have partnered with me that have done it, but they're anomalies because they're hyper consistent, whereas most agents aren't. So what you need to do is understand that there's a different relationship between these two. Prospecting is going to be now business, immediate business, building your foundation. You need to do that. It is linear in nature, 3 hours in, 3 hours out. That is linear. The more time you put in, the more outcome you get, or the more output you get. With social media, it's delayed gratification, it's exponential versus linear. So it starts very slow, takes a bit of time, maybe 3 to 6 months of being consistent to build momentum, then it hits an inflection point and boom, your business goes crazy. So you need to offset the social media and time it takes for that to build momentum with the immediate gratification of the prospecting and always improving on your conversion rate. Now, in conjunction with YouTube for client attraction, you also want to be focusing on TikTok and Instagram Reels for building your personal brand. This is more in the moment content. This is going to be content where, again, I've got multiple videos below breaking down how to approach each of these platforms, but these are the best with organic engagement. And you want to be leveraging the mass organic engagement in order to build your local brand and start to become top of mind in your market center, because you can use hashtags, geotags, and things that are going to be searchable within reason in your local market or specific communities you want to farm, so that, again, you're going to start to not just become but remain top of mind. And this is going to be a great way to leverage your time, because by posting on these short form platforms, the organic engagement is astronomical, much more than anything else right now. So you want to be bolting onto that rocket ship while you still can, until it becomes like every other platform, so that as a new agent, you can start to build momentum quickly. Now, in terms of advertising, the last thing I want to talk about in terms of platforms you should be focusing on: Google, YouTube, and TikTok ads. These are the three that I recommend focusing on, because, again, unfortunately, Facebook and Instagram ads is becoming a complete mess. They're constantly changing things, making it impossible for agents to have strategic targeting. And yes, you can still get good results, but you have to spend way too much time learning how to optimize, how to split test, how to do all different types of creatives, copy, things like that. As a new agent, that's too much. You need to go straight to what works, and that is Google, YouTube, and Facebook ads. I do have tutorials in the description, which I'll link, but you want to make sure that if you're putting money into paid advertising, you're going to be focusing on the platforms that are going to yield the highest quality leads for the most affordable cost per lead as well. The fifth thing I want to talk about is exceptionally important, which is making sure you're in the right environment and you're aligning with the right people. Again, we talked about the fact that the brokerage brand does not matter, but the brokerage does matter. And this is where I constantly see new agents struggling, because when you look at a traditional franchise brokerage, none of the top agents are going to share any of their best information with you. Because what happens is, you, likely watching this video, are ambitious, you're driven, you're fired up, you're going to take action. Well, if they share their best information and you actually do it, that creates competition within their brokerage office. So what happens, and this is the mistake I made as a new agent, is joining the local brokerage that had all of the rock stars in it, but then I was left hanging high and dry to die, basically, because nobody wanted to share their best information with me. Whereas when you look at our group at EXP, well, EXP as a brokerage has 50 hours of the top training by the top 1% agents across the entire company, all sharing their best information with you. It's the first time in history that the top agents are sharing all of their best strategies for 50 hours a week. But then when you bolt on what we do, this is where agents thrive. So at the Wolfpack, why we're breaking records is because we have the continuous training of what works right now on every platform, but also not just business, life. Because the one thing most people don't talk about is the number one reason why agents fail is not because they don't have the skills. It's not because they don't have the tools or training. It's because of this mindset. Every single agent fails because of mindset. It's the number one reason. And the reason being is because of limiting beliefs, fears, self-sabotaging behaviors, negativity, all of the things that you're focusing on that are distracting you from doing the things you know you need to do. So what we focus on is health challenges, mindset, building a balanced life with your family, kids, well-rounded, and also becoming massively successful. So if you look at why we've got one of the highest retentions in the company, it's because people are learning every single day with our 5 live mastermind calls per week, where you're surrounded by agents that are all wanting to thrive in their first year and share their best information and support you in order to help you succeed as well, because the market is going to continue to change at a rapid pace. And if, when you're at a traditional brokerage, they usually don't have the capacity to adapt or adjust their training to what is happening in the market right now, because they don't have the manpower to do it. Whereas when you look at groups like ours, we have the ability to constantly be feeding you all of the information that you need right now in order to thrive, not what worked 6 months ago or 12 months ago, what works today. So you really need to make sure that, again, understanding the analogy that rising tides lifts all ships, that you're in a brokerage or you're with a group like ours where everybody wants to see you win, everybody's there to support you, and everybody is sharing their best information to help you thrive in your first year as a new agent. And again, if you want to book a call with myself, just drop a comment and I'll pull back the curtains and share with you everything that we're doing and why we've got such a high success rate of new agents. Now, the sixth and final thing is understanding the cardinal rules of what you need to do in order to thrive as a new agent. And these again come down to mindset. The first one being discipline and self-accountability. One of the main reasons why I see so many new agents fail is because they'll build out a power list. They'll write, 3 hours of prospecting. They will write 1 hour of client follow-up, studying the data, record videos for an hour. And guess what they're not going to do? Any of it, because it's the stuff that is not fun. And they're gonna get a call from a lender and say, hey, do you wanna go for a coffee? Or a title rep, hey, do you wanna go grab lunch? And they're, instead of doing the activities they know they need to do, they would rather put it off and go meet with that person. They think they're being productive, but they're being busy, because that relationship will not get you as far as doing the activities you know you need to do in order to move the needle of your business. Those can wait. They can come at another time. They're looking to get business from you. Well, you don't even have business to give them. So go start focusing on what you need to do to get your own clients to even need a lender or need a title rep, right? So what you need to do is focus on doing the right things, because so many people build out their business plan and they reverse engineer into the 12-week year, and then the weekly goals and the daily goals and the power list, and they don't stick to their schedule. If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist, and you need to live by your calendar. Again, the video about our business plan will show you how to break this down and how to stay on track. We actually give you a calendar to use as well for free. So again, if you comment, I'll give that to you. But you really need to make sure that you're doing the right things, focusing on the right activities, and not just being busy for the sake of filling 12, 14 hours a day. The next aspect of the cardinal rules is understanding expectations. You need to understand the sacrifice it's going to make. You need to say no to going out on the weekends with your friends, or going for a patio beer, going for a game of golf. If you want to thrive in a shifting market, you need to make sacrifices. I've got an entire video for new agents on the expectations you need if you want to become a top producer in your first year. Again, if you want that, drop a comment and I'll give it to you. But it's really important to make sure that you're focusing on the right expectations of yourself. All too many people don't even set expectations for themselves, which is why they just go about their business in a casual way. And what happens when you're casual and not intentional? You become one of the 87% that fail. And the last thing I want to touch on is, how bad do you actually want it? Why did you get into real estate? Do you want to just hang out, hope a deal comes to you, close a couple here and there, and live a mediocre life? Or do you want to change your life, your family's life, create generational wealth, make an impact on other people, give back, donate? What do you want out of real estate? Because you need to create a vision board. You need to remind yourself why you're doing this, because the reason why those 87% fail is because they don't remember why they got started. If you're watching this right now, you're probably stoked, you're energetic, you're excited, you're pumped, you're motivated about the real estate industry. Wait until 6 months from now. If you don't remember that feeling of why you got into real estate, to change your life, to change your family's life, well, you're going to give up because you feel like you're losing nothing. But what you're doing is you're losing the fire and giving up in your dreams of why you got started in the first place. So by having a vision board, a physical and digital anchor, when you don't feel like, doing the 3 hours of prospecting a day, you can look at that picture of your family and say, hey, I'm not just letting myself down, I'm letting them down. You can look at the trip that you're supposed to take your children on this year and say, hey, if I don't do this prospecting, it's not just going to affect me, my kids won't get to go to Disney. And what this is going to do is it's going to help you stay on track and stay accountable, because ultimately people are just used to letting themselves down for years. But if you let somebody down that you love and you care for, it hurts a lot more. So hopefully that makes sense. Those are the 6 things, the commonalities that I see across all of the agents that get to the end of their first year and are stuck, plateaued, failed, didn't hit the goals. All of them are struggling with those 6 things, where the ones that thrive are all doing what we talked about in this video. So if you have any other questions, drop a comment below. If you want to know how to partner, click the link in the description. And I can't wait to hear how your first year goes, and hopefully I get to help you crush it.